up, me ducks? How are we all doing today? It's great to see everybody here as per usual. So let's just do our usual kind of roll call and see who we've got in. So first in is Rob. Hi, Rob. How are you doing? And we have Shauna. Hello, Shauna. Now, if you haven't checked out Shauna Player, her drum playing abilities are out of this world. So do check her out. So I hope you don't mind me saying that, Shauna, but I was mesmerized watching a couple of Shauna's videos. And then we have Zane, who really looking forward to our interview on Saturday. Tomorrow, Zane, if you're here still, if you can send me a head and shoulders shot, I will start doing the kind of the promo ready for Saturday's interview. And we have Caroline, Richard. Hello, Richard. And Donna, Sandra, Tycon, Heather, Alexandra, Chris, Laurie, Patrice, and Deanne. Hello, Deanne. Our Jack is here. And who else do we have? We have Jamie. Hello, Jamie. And Gerald. Jamie and Gerald. Susan. Jenna. Hello, Jenna. Nice to see you. And who else? See, I'm doing that noise. It's the silence. We can't handle the silence. Diane is here. Kristen and Kim. Hello, Kim. And Kimberly. Kim and Kimberly always seem to come in at the same time. I always feel like I'm saying those two names together. And we have Jen, Regina, and Tammy Pie, Celtic Tarot Sheila, nice to see you, Kristen Louise, SJ, and Amanda, Sage Advice, how are you doing? And make sure I'm not missing anybody. Debbie, hello Debbie, Maharet, Ingrid, Forest for the trees, and I think I've caught up with everybody. So lovely to see everybody. Have you all got a cuppa? I've had a mocha today, a mocha made with skimmed milk. It's wet and cold and it's mocha weather. A lot of parts of the UK are covered in snow, but we've been quite lucky so far. Also, I just wanted to mention, because it broke on the news here about an hour and a half ago about Captain Tom. So I'm going to put a picture up and we're going to light a candle for him. If you are in the UK, you'll know who he is, and probably even overseas, because last year, to celebrate his 100th birthday, he was going to do 100 laps of his garden. Now his garden is large; he had a very large house, and he wanted to raise £1,000 for the NHS to help them cope with the COVID, and he actually raised nearly 33 million. And he was knighted by the Queen last year. He had a #1 single, "You'll Never Walk Alone," with Michael Ball. There's books written about him. There's a foundation in his name to help the people who are lonely. And he sadly passed away today from COVID, which, you know, he did reach his 100th birthday. He went into hospital with pneumonia, so he wasn't able to have the COVID jab. And sadly, he lost his life today. And he's such an inspiration that I wanted just to take this opportunity to light a white candle for our Captain Tom. Well, Sir Captain. Well, it's Captain Sir Tom now. You know, and you know, may he rest in eternal peace. So I just wanted to light that for him and place it here, just at the side. So yeah, so sad. A great man. Yeah, and you know what he did in the last 10 months of his life, you know, is incredible. Absolutely incredible, and such an inspiration to so many. So oh, that's all right. You walked away. So Zane, I was just saying, if you can send me a Head and Shoulders picture of yourself so I can advertise tomorrow our interview on Saturday. So I've got the news on the TV with the sound off, and it's all completely about Captain Sir Tom. So yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Lots of people paying tribute. The Queen has already. She's going to send a private message to the family. Buckingham Palace has issued a statement. The Prime Minister has issued a statement, and lots of people from around the world. So I just wanted to do my little bit from my little corner of YouTube. So, and there's some lovely comments. Yes, what a babe. A good, long, and inspiring life. Yeah, but it's just so ironic, isn't it? There's somebody who did so much, you know, for what's happening in this pandemic, you know. But anyway, we have to celebrate the life as well as mourning the loss of it. But what a life, what an incredible life. So anyway, that aside, how is everybody doing today? What day are we on? We're on Tuesday. How is people's weeks going so far? How are we all feeling at the moment? Let's do a bit of a check-in as usual while we sip our cuppers. Oh, and Deanne's back. Nice to have you back. So Kristen Louise is feeling good, cold but good. And then Tammy Pye said there was very little on YouTube what to do about a broken tower. I had to try a couple of different ways. You broke you broke a tower. Let me tell you, nobody mentioned it. So and it's not that easy to see, but you know my goddess in the corner here, which lights up. I bought her in Glastonbury last year, if you remember. Those of you who's been watching the channel since last August. About 2 weeks ago, do you see the disc behind the tower? Is what reminds me of reading that comment about the tower. You see the circular shape. That's a green man that was made for me for my 50th birthday from a friend. Behind that is the battery pack that you switch on to light up the goddess, because I don't put tea lights in there because I've heard of stories about it catching fire. And at Philippa Bower, where you buy them from, Philippa Bower makes them by hand. They've said that people have been anointing them and it's the oil. But reading lots of reviews, people are saying I didn't put any oil on it. I used a tea light and it caught fire. So I decided to use artificial lights inside it anyway. But as I was lifting the Green Man plaque up to take the to switch the light on, I completely knocked one of her horns and it snapped off. So for 2 weeks, she only had one horn. And I thought someone's going to mention it, and nobody mentioned it. So if you watch back any QuaranStream from last week, you'll see it, or even the week before, you'll see that she's only got one horn. And I was like, oh no. So anyway, I ordered some super glue and it wouldn't take. It just would not take. I was trying everything to put this horn back on, and I was holding it for ages. And this super glue that I bought, I've put it away, said that it would stick anything. So I was like, right. Anyway, it just wouldn't. So on Sunday, I went to my parents for the day, and because I'm in their bubble, and I went, my stepdad, you all know him, he can turn his hand to anything. I was like, right, here's a challenge for you. I said, I've snapped the horn off my goddess. Now I thought my parents would be like, don't bring that into this house. You know, there's pictures of Jesus on the wall and everything else. And they didn't really bat an eyelid. So I said to Mel, is there anything you can do to repair it? And he says, no more nails will work. And I was thinking, oh, it won't. Try these no more nails. That won't work. Anyway, he'd got this stick anything except goddess. Yeah, exactly, Richard. And he was like, oh, I don't think it's porous enough. I said, it's very porous, but I'd covered it with super glue. So anyway, he even tried drilling little holes into each end to put a little cocktail stick in to try and hold it. That wouldn't work. He couldn't get anything to do it. And then he's got this glue mixture where you squeeze them both together and it comes out orange and clear and you mix it. Anyway, he got it to stick. He got it to lay flat. He put something underneath it and able to get it to stick. But boy, did it look a mess. There was like white glue, there was orange, and it looked hideous. And I just sat there thinking, I'm just gonna have to buy another when I get to Glastonbury. But I want to save up and get the horned god to go with it this year. So I've got both, and it will go this side where there's a candle at the moment. But anyway, this is the guy, he's got everything. He brings out this little pot of paint that is exactly the same colour as the clay. Now, I'm not going to, I'll put a picture up instead because I'm not going to bring the goddess over because I don't want to chance it. But look at that. Well, I wish I could zoom in actually, but you can't. You just can't even tell that it's ever been broken. And I keep looking at it. You can't even see a line. It is just perfect. So I was really chuffed again with his little skills of repairing anything. It was like, you know, we've got a program over here called the Repair Shop, and I love it. You know, somebody will bring something in that means something to them, and it's got damaged in some way, and they meticulously repair it. It might be a doll that's over 100 years old, you know, and she's got like an eye missing, half of a cheek missing because it's porcelain, clothes are in rags, and they just repair it, and it's like brand new. And you always gasp when they take the cloth off and they reveal what's been repaired. But what a brilliant job yours did. I know. I was like, it doesn't even look like it's ever had anything wrong with it now. So I don't need to replace it. That saved me 100 and what was it? Was it 119? Sandra now might remember. But it was a lot of money anyway. So when it broke, I was like, oh, I'm so clumsy. I am clumsy. It's a character trait that I've got, really clumsy. Isabel says, I love the Repair Shop and hurry for stepdads. Yeah. What's that? Behave, Tarastash. You don't want to provoke the mama bear. What? What's going off? What's our Gerald doing? Oh, you get it over there too, the Repair Shop, Gerald. I don't know what Gerald says. For Mama Bear to be. It was 120, I think, Simon. 100, yeah. I know it had a 9 in it. So if you think around 120, I think it was 119. So yeah, that's good to know because I want to be able to get the god, like I say, to go with it next time. I'll post a pic of the fluorite tower. Oh, it was a fluorite tower. Oh, I'm gutted for you. I've got a fluorite tower on my sacred space, and it's beautiful. Oh, you can see how great it came out. I'm pretty proud. Oh, so you've repaired yours, Tammy Pie. Well done. I nearly said something about magic fixing hands, but seeing earlier comments, I was worried that we'll get taken the wrong way. Probably in this chat, Isabel, with this lot. Elle started it. Well, I don't know what was said. What was said? Hi, Justin. And then Jen says, Elle started it. She was innocently eating pizza. Are you two on a call to each other for you to know that she's eating pizza? Ness says, I've got a ceramic candy skull spoon rest that needs gluing. A lovely TK Maxx special. We get some lovely stuff in TK Maxx. Most of my, I was pointing like you could see them, but I'll see if I can tip the camera. Most of my Buddhas and things on the top of the unit, do you see up there? Most of them are from TK Maxx, apart from Skelly in the middle, but lots of other things are from TK Maxx. Wonderful. Got to put it back right now. That's it. Gerald is making indecent proposals to our L. Ah, Jack has picked up on that. Now I understand the Mama Bear comment. Yes, you don't want Jackie on your heels, Gerald. No. Something about Elle and Gerald, pizza and bed, as far as I can see. Is Elle eating pizza in bed? Oh my God, says Elle. She's like, stop embarrassing me, everyone. Hi, Dory. Hope all is safe. We are, but the chat is descending into chaos. So they do a pizza, bed, and inappropriate suggestions. The Repair Shop is on Netflix. Oh, wow. We just get it on the Beeb here. I think it's the Beeb. I think it is. Naughty Gerald. Anne says, I live not far from the Repair Shop. Fascinating place. Wild and Dowland Museum. Rescued rural homes and building reconstructed. Wow. TJ or TK. So over here, it's TK Maxx, but in the States, it's TJ Maxx, I do believe. But yeah, I believe it's the same shop. It's also the same family. We have something called Home Sense. I think it's Home Sense, which is like TK Maxx, but all the home stuff rather than clothing. TJ in America, TK in Europe. I wonder why. I suppose it's just a Goog and it will tell me. Descending into Chaos sounds like a great deck name. It does, doesn't it? The Descending into Chaos Tarot. Today, everyone, I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of the Descending into Chaos Tarot. I'd have to do that live. TK, and we have TJ. Home Goods is related to TK Maxx in the U. So do you not have clothing, MA, in your TJ Maxx? TK's Tough Kitty Maxx. Is that really? Is that fact, L? Hi, Saoirse. Hello, Simon and the Hermiters. It's the Cavers. It is in the Facebook group. We're always like, hi, Cavers. No problem. I only know from when I was stationed in Germany. Wow. I can't wait to interview you. I've got so many questions to ask you. You sound like you've led a really interesting life thus far. I love a good TJ Maxx shopping experience. It's not that cheap really. TK Maxx over here is quite expensive. I didn't close that from last time. It's gone a bit cold. A mocha has to be drunk hot. There's lots of comments now. I'd be dangerous in Home Sense if there was one near here. My credit card would literally melt. Well, I'm going there tomorrow because we've got a bit of a trek for DOV. And we're going along the canal past the retail park where Home Sense is. But luckily, well, not luckily, that sounds dreadful. Luckily for my bank account, it's not open, but not luckily that it's closed. Becca, hey up, me dork, how are you? Hey up, Simon and everyone. The store equivalent here in Canada is called Winners. Wow. Apparently, the name was modified so it wasn't confused with TJ Hughes in the UK. I've never heard of TJ Hughes. Might be a southern thing. Get out that deck, Zane. Descending into chaos. Yeah, come on, Zane. Your next one. What you waiting for? The Descending into Chaos Tarot. You heard it here first. I was feeling really content about tarot purchases, but then I saw the Desert Illuminated Tarot, and now I am geeked and can't wait to spend my money and all that. Wow. Jen's cat is called TK. Of course. TK. Of course. Why didn't I click on? My credit card is melting from tarot. I'm so excited for the interview too, Simon. A bit nervous, but mostly excited. Anyone will tell you who's been on and been interviewed by me, you're in really safe hands. I don't put anything on you that you'll be uncomfortable with. And we have a bit of a chat before we go live, and I check in with you at the end, and you'll absolutely be fine. The interview will be fab, Zane. Yeah, it will. Hi, Jonathan. Would you like to ever create your own deck? If so, what would you go for? Possibly. I have got a friend, my Norwegian friend, and we have spoken about it because he is a fantastic artist. I think I showed you some of his work before. I've got a picture hanging in the hall of Madonna that he drew, and it's incredible. It's like a photograph. It's so good. And we have spoken about it, and I have started to write some notes, but life has just really got busy and stuff. And neither of us, because he was over here for 12 years and I moved back to Oslo, life is just needs to settle down in a bit. So maybe one day in the future. No need to be nervous, saying it's amazing being live with Simon. Oh, thank you, Chris. It's like shitting. What? My God. Oh, dear. No need to be nervous, saying it's amazing being live with Simon. It's like sitting, having a cuppa and a chat with a pal. I've gone red. I need to start doing tarot walkthroughs. I have so many decks. Yes, Gerald, you do. Hi, Emily. Good to see you. Work is closed again because of snow. Sorry if I missed anyone that said yes. Hi, Justin. Good to see you. I'm confused. Who are you interviewing? Who was stationed in Germany? Laurie, I'm going to be interviewing our Zane from Tarot Token Witchery, who had a career in the forces and was stationed in Germany and has released an oracle and a tarot, and it's available at the moment. So Chris said I can confirm it is nothing like shitting. Shitting with a cuppa. Oh dear. Just Elle to be in the chat when I did that as well, because I just know she's going to use that somehow at some point in the future. You survive my chat, you can survive anything. I'll have enough dirt on Simon to make a QuaranStream outtake film. You probably will, too. Shall we have quote of the day? All right, let's have quote of the day. Now, this one might be a little bit tricky. Yesterday's was easy, so we've got to spice it up a bit. So, quote of the day today is, say yes and you'll figure it out later. So this is a quote about just saying yes, isn't it? So let's see who comes through first. Hi, Tanji. The Fool. That's a good one, SL Wyman, but it's not The Fool. Oh, lots of people going for the Fool. We've got Debbie going for the Fool, Chris going for the Fool, Ace of Cups, Nine of Cups, 106, Page of Cups. You're on the right lines, Diane. Oh, Ma's got it. It is our Page of Wands. So I'll just bring it back up. The quote is, say yes. I want you to see the card too. Oh, that's not going to work. Say yes and you'll figure it out later. So that's just about, we can transform any problems by having that attitude of saying yes. We restrict ourselves so much by saying no, and it is easier sometimes to say no than it is to say yes. And I'm the worst for that. My first kind of default is, oh, I can't do that, so I end up saying no because it's easier. But the principle of saying yes to things opens up so many different opportunities, not only in giving you opportunity to grow and develop, but also it opens lots of different doorways. So there's that whole adage of fake it till you make it. It's kind of similar to that, but not. So with the quote being, say yes and you'll figure it out later, it's about saying that, just don't worry about how you're going to do it. Say yes in the first instance, then already you're opening your life up. And the Page is an adventurer. So, once you say yes, you've committed and you stick with that. Don't then go and say no, but say yes and then figure it out how you're going to do it. Because it's almost like an affirmation, isn't it? You say yes, you've committed, and then you work it out. And saying yes to things really does open up your life experiences. Loved that movie. Yes. There's a movie called Yes, is there? I've not seen that. I think Dawn French wrote a book a few years ago about something like the power of saying yes or something like that as well. But I always say yes and jump. Commit to doing it, then figure out the details. It's how I wound up with my kitty. Yeah, I like the movie as well. I've not seen it. It sounds good. So is it just called Yes? We used to have a policy at a store I worked in. The answer is yes. Now what's the question? Yes. Yes Man with Jim Carrey, really good. I always say yes, shit. I read the book Year of Yes by Sonda Rhimes. It was great. Yeah, it can be quite frightening saying yes to things, particularly if it pushes you out of your comfort zone. But how great when we then put the work in and figure out how we're going to achieve what it is that we need to achieve afterwards, that sense of accomplishment when you've actually done it. So, big love all, must run. All right then, Jamie. See you later. Fellow ADHDers don't need to be told to say yes to anything. That's our problem. Yeah. All right. So, deck of the day is a request today. Let me turn the ticker off. Deck of the day. I'd got a deck ready. And then I got a request, and it was from our L, because she's shook by this deck, and you'll like this, Chris, if you're here. And she messaged this afternoon to say, I've got an idea for deck of the day. I'd really like to see it. And I said, yeah, I can do that. At first I was like, well, we'll have to do it tomorrow, but this deck doesn't need to be put in order. So deck of the day is soul cards. And yeah, I was like, yeah, we can talk about soul cards. And then there's a little bit of an announcement at the end as well. Now, I have this pouch, which has soul cards 1 and 2, a bit like, I think Chris does this as well with his, where there's 60 cards in each set. And I merged them together to have like a complete set. Now, this is quite bashed because this has been my working deck for nearly 20 years. And there was a time when I read exclusively with soul cards. So I love it. So it might be a bit bashed, but it's my deck. Now, Deborah Koff-Chapin, who is the creator of soul cards, also has a centre called the Centre for Touch Drawing, which is how soul cards are created, by touch drawing. She sent me another set of the soul cards because they changed a couple of the images from the original one from, well, I got mine in 2002. Or was that soul? It might have been 2001, 2002 or 3. This one came a couple of years after. And so she changed it. And she said, well, I'll send you a copy of soul cards, which she did. So then I've got my 2 decks together, and then I've got the new version. There's only 3 or 4 cards, I think, that were changed. So then I bought another soul cards too. So I've got them both separately, and then I've got my merged deck together. I love my soul cards. I had so many profound experiences with them. Yeah, they are incredible. What I'm going to do is I want you to see them all, but these are all mixed up. So I'm going to use the boxed ones because I think it's fairer as well, because this is what you can get now. I don't want to show you anywhere the images aren't available. So, and then you'll see them in order as well, because you might decide, oh, well, I don't want to get both. And if I just show all them mixed, I'll be like, that one's from 1, that one's from 2, that's from 2, that's from 2, that's from 1. So we'll keep them separate, but I will show you both. Now, the concept of soul cards it does what it says on the tin. They are to work with your soul, however you see your soul. But basically, there are no keywords, no numbers. They are cards of images that are created by people who very often go into like a relaxed meditative state. Some might say trance-like state. And through their fingertips, they create images. And Deborah Croft-Chapin was a guest on Catching Up With back in the end of 2018. So just over 2 years ago. And I was so blessed to have her on because she actually created an image using touch drawing and showed it to us. She did it live on Cup of Catch Up. So it was wonderful. But yeah, I love them. And I know there's quite a few people. And I can remember coming into this community. You do get a little book, but it's more about the process and everything. And kind of how to use the cards for divination. But there are no, meanings, because you might look at an image. So this image, by the way, you might look at that image, and as you're sitting, taking it in, whether you're doing it through meditation or you just want to use it for divination, you will see what you see. And, it could be somebody who, from this image, as I'm looking at it today, is somebody that's just letting everything out, letting go of stuff. They're opening their crown chakra and they're letting all this stuff out. Tomorrow, in a different life state, I could look at that image and I could see and interpret it completely different. I could be, seeing this as somebody who's got a heavy burden that they're trying to carry, and they're trying to balance it on their head. There's so many ways to read these cards, but they speak to you at a certain time in your life. And that's what I love about them. And as I said, I worked with them exclusively for years. And I gave some incredible readings with them. So because there's 120 cards to go through and we're already at 5 past, all I'm going to do is show you the images. Okay, and just let you see them, because there aren't keywords, there aren't numbers, but they're really, really powerful. The backs on Soul Cards 1 have this kind of dark blue effect, and on Soul Cards 2, it is the same pattern, but it has like a maroon colour. So you see, and they're exactly the same card size and thickness. So for me, they work really well when they're put together as well, to have like a super deck. Do you find that, Chris? Because I know you merge yours together as well. Does having different coloured backs, is it jarring for you? I've never really been, affected by it. I just love the fact that I can use this huge deck and pull whatever image I want from both. Simon, says Laurie. Simon. Okay, so let's crack on. So I digressed a little bit there. Now, it doesn't bother me at all, Simon. Love my soul cards. I pull one every day. Yeah, that reminds me. I've got one on my stand from this morning because I do the same. Well, it's not from a box, so I don't know why I went and got it, because the box ones are my backup. So, do you have a walkthrough of this? I don't know if I've got an actual walkthrough of it. Probably not, because Elle was saying, would you do it as deck as the day? Because, you know, I want to see all the cards. So probably not, but I feel like I've talked about soul cards so many times. And particularly with interviewing the creator. This is one of my favorites. I love that. What a hermit, right? Some would say magician. And they're very powerful, the images. And, you know, sometimes you'll turn a card and you'll think, oh, I'm not sure about that. But cool hermit. But the more you sit with these images and drink them in, the only thing is they are glossy. And Deborah's got another deck coming, so I'll talk about that at the end, like I said. Look at that. Love that. That's very goddess. That's very Gaia for me. I love that. That's like being embraced by an angel, when you just want to cocoon yourself away, and this beautiful kind of angel. And of course, blue for me is the colour for universal healing. So it's just like this protection. I found them really powerful for grief work. Yes, I can see that. Some you can turn around that way, or you can, you know, like this one is gorgeous. Doesn't that remind you a little bit of like Cilla Conway's work and art? I think somebody commented on a walkthrough of the Shimmering Veil, saying, oh, these remind me of soul cards. And I could see where they were coming from. Have you had a go at touch drawing? No, I'd love to. I mean, it is special inks and paper. Like when Deborah did it, she did it on very thin paper. So you'd get a very quick, look at that. That's like a full card, isn't it? But look at his head, how it's split. Again, it's like opening the crown chakra, but this kind of art here is kind of more like what Portals of Presence is going to be. Love that. I love the use of colour in this deck as well. Beautiful. Look at her striding on this beautiful butterfly behind her. That's gorgeous. Really gorgeous. One of my favourites. Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot. This deck has my whole heart. I use soul cards 1 or 2 every day. Oh. and they're not that expensive. The way when I found these, I was in a development circle. You've all heard my story about working with the Giffords. So, Mr. Gifford's psychic fairs. He's long since passed away, but his wife Miriam is still alive. Miriam Gifford, a well-known sort of medium psychic, and that's how I met Liz and Ian from the Lizzie and Crystal Stand through their psychic fairs. Now, I did a development circle with the Giffords years ago, and we could work, we did lots of things like some candle magic, we did psychometry, we did lots of stuff around this circle. And then this particular day, she brought all these cards out. There was tarot cards, oracle cards, angel cards, and there were these, and I was instantly drawn to them. And when I went for them, she said, well, that's really interesting. She said that you're drawn to them because they terrify a lot of people because there's nothing to help. And I was like, I don't need anything to help, And I feel with these, look how beautiful that is. I feel with these cards in particular, there is so much freedom to them. There isn't a structure. They just speak to you on a level, and they speak to us all individually. I just ordered both decks. David Pollard. Hi, David. Good to see you. I have both volumes. I prefer the first set. They seem more earth grounded. The second seem more external and airy. That's an interesting take. That's beautiful. And look at this, this is kind of, do I jump right on the edge, looking down and holding on. This was quite a powerful card for me, because at the time when I found these, I was exiting the Mormon faith, and fish is very much a symbol for Christianity, but it was interesting that there was one covering the mouth, and I really felt like, I had to choose words carefully, and I couldn't really speak and let people hear my true voice. Love that. Look how earthy that is. Ah, it's gorgeous. Becca has soul cards too. Now, this is one of the activities, and I spoke about this when I interviewed Deborah. One of the activities that you can do is to sit with the deck when you get it and just study each one. And if you feel like it's having a deep impact on you, you put them to one side and you keep going back. So say you pull 20 and you keep going back till you got like 10 or 8 or whatever, until you get one card that really speaks to your soul. And that is your soul card from the deck. And this one is my soul card. I absolutely love it. And about 18 years ago, I brought the print from the Centre for Touch Drawing from Deborah, and it's framed and it hangs on my wall just at the end of my tarot shelves here behind the door. It's beautiful, really beautiful. Is there a bottom or top, or are they reversible? They can be, Robin. It's whatever you want them to be. And that's the beauty of soul cards. They're not limited. They have no restrictions. I mean, obviously I look at that and that's the right way up, but there are some cards, like this one. Would that be the right way up, or, would it be that way? It's however you want to view it. This is very kind of hermity as well, coming out of the cave. There's two together there. Chris says, do you find that there are some that don't speak to you as loudly, Simon? Absolutely. Have you ever considered going through and taking some out and working with the ones you like most for a bit. I haven't, because the reason is, Chris, yeah, I will look at some, and you know, they might not speak to me. Trying to find one. I just saw one not so long back. This one speaks to me a lot, right? But there might be some, like that, for instance, doesn't really say a lot to me or speak to me, but because of how soul cards work and how each life state we're in, and as a Buddhist, I believe in that we, you know, go through 10 different worlds: animality, you know, hunger, rapture, anger, tranquility, all of those worlds. That card might speak to me on a different day. It might speak to me tomorrow, as it doesn't speak to me right now. So that's why I've always left them in, because they will, I think, at some point, if I'm consulting these, then it might be exactly what I need. Some need more work than others, don't they, Chris? So you might, you know, that's on the cover of the first Soul Cards box. Some you can pull a card and you get an instant hit from them, and you're like, I know exactly what you're saying to me. Like this, you know, many different voices influencing us, but actually we've got to close our eyes and just find our own. That's how I'm seeing that today. But tomorrow I might pull a card and think, I don't really get what this is saying. But then I'll sit with it and I'll meditate and I'll contemplate on that image. And I usually am able to pull something out of it. I'm just looking to see if I've tagged anywhere else. I have to go back and watch again. My cat knocked my coffee over. Oh no. So I'll show you Soul Cards 2 now. So that's Soul Cards 1. And I love them both. That's why I merged them together. But if I did obviously have to have a choice, then I would go for Soul Cards 1, because it was my first deck and my first introduction to Soul Cards. And I just love them. Cracking, not carjacking. Oh, Chris, that had me carjacking up. What did he say? Whoops. Couple saw that. I pressed send by accident. I decided I didn't want to ruin it for him. I saw a withdraw message. What did you say? What don't you want to ruin for me? I need to know now. Inquiring minds and all that. Ken says Soul Cards 1 and 2 are available from Book Depository at a reduced price at the moment. Oh wow, that's good timing. He always retracts the good ones. Yeah, what did he put? L, thank you, has put a link to Amazon for Soul Cards. How much are they at the moment? I'm just going to click the link just to have a quick look. So they are 24. Yeah, that's quite dear. 24.37. I wonder what they are on Book Depository then, because I don't think I've paid, imagine it's years ago, I don't think I paid more than £20 for them, but they are worth it. They are incredible tools to have. Just ignore it, Simon. I made a rude comment about a card. It's not like you. I don't want you to think of it every time you see it. I know which one you're referring to. I know exactly which one you're referring to, because I've seen it myself. It's a YouTube thing. £16.80 at Book Depository. Wow. Bargain. Grab them. Soul Cards 1 is £16 on Book Depository. And I'll put a link to Soul Cards 2 on Amazon. If anybody can put in the Book Depository links in. Oh, they're £19.94 for Soul Cards 2. They come in a bigger box as well, as you can see, but these are the inner box that I use. They're just like trays, really. I've opened the wrong thing. Get chat back up. Shit. Let me get the BP links. Okay, so Soul Cards 2 with the kind of maroon burgundy backs. These ones seem to have a lot more brighter colours. And I think that's probably what David meant about more ethereal and kind of heavenly, spiritual, rather than earthy colours. But they're gorgeous. Look at that. It's like the Scream, isn't it? And I love the sky on this. This is a beautiful card. Just look at that. Again, that is so kind of Empress, isn't it? Mother Earth. Let's read that up. What was that? I think my fave is the woman who looks like she's holding and looking into a rose. Have you done the activity then, Chris, where you choose your soul card? I love this as well. Because look at the being in the tree. Just gorgeous. Thank you, Elle. She's a star, isn't she? Putting all these links in for us. Oh, Jo loves her soul card. Really helps with intuitive reads, energy reads. Yeah, they are stunning. They really are. No, Simon, I haven't. I'll need to do it. I love that. Shadow, right? Look at that. It's like the High Priestess's pillars. No, it's not watercolor, it's ink. I'm not quite sure how they've colored them because, well, obviously using different colored inks and overlaying, but look at that. It's very goddess-ish. Love it. Here's another hermity card. A flame, just holding that flame, light in his cave. Look at that. Oh, that's gone a little bit bright. Are these two? Yes, Sorsha, this is Soul Cards 2 now. Card size seems to vary. No, they should be exactly the same size. I don't think they released any that are different sizes. You often get that though. It's like with some of the Welling decks, they try and say that they're different sizes, and when they come, they're exactly the same. They're gorgeous. Oh my goodness, look at the time. I need to hurry this up a bit. I love that one. Is that the one that you're talking about looking at the flower, Chris? Lots of beautiful lilacs and purples as well. Oh, Elle, you're a star. She's put the interview with... Yeah, do watch that because it made me gasp. It was like... I felt quite emotional watching her. You know, because I'd worked with these cards for so many years, it was such an honor to have her on and talk to her. But then for her to actually do a demonstration and then lift up this beautiful being that she'd created, it was quite emotional. This is beautiful. Antoinette, no, please, not another deck. I just think everybody should have soul cards. I really do. They're just... And Robin, I don't know if you've got them or not, or if you've got one set, because I know you like cards that don't have any keywords or, I any keywords or numbers or anything. You quite like cards that just have artwork on them, don't you? So that's our cover for the Soul Cards 2 box. Bye, Becca. They are so affordable on Book Depository as well. I really don't have any excuse. Yeah, they are. And that's a really good price to get them. Really good price. Debbie, my birthday is in 2 weeks. Into the cart they go. I love this image. I think that is gorgeous. It reminds me of like a Buddhist monk or something. But look at the green background. Oh, beautiful. I almost cried. When did you almost cry? Did you people hear that Lisa Hunt is putting the Fairy Tale Tarot in Kickstarter? Really? Oh, I said I wasn't going to do any more Kickstarter. But it was one deck I never got. Well, that's exciting. Let us know, Justin, when it goes live. Please. Nearly at the end, guys. Love that one too with the bowl. Here's a great death card. And then if I had a second place, so when I did my activity and I chose my card from the first deck, this is what I chose from the second deck. But if I had to choose out the deck together, it'd still be my first choice. But I adore this image. And say I chose that image probably 15, 16 years ago. But isn't it kind of hermity? How many hermit cards do we see where they're sitting on the edge looking out like that over an expanse? Well, Mr. Grumpy Pants, I have the Spanish version. What's going on? Beautiful. And then the last one. So there you have it. That's Soul Cards 1 and 2. Elle, did it tick the boxes you was hoping it would tick? I know you was kind of like looking at them and like, ooh. So they are, personally, I couldn't have one without the other. I think they're an amazing set. And I love the fact that I've got, been able to use them as a mega deck and use them. It tickled my pickle, says Al. I'm going to have to get them. Thanks, Dar. You're welcome. Tickled your fancy. So many people just spent money because of you, Al. Yes, Al. Yeah, you can't blame me for this one. Do you have the red seeds? No. What's the red seeds? No, I don't. I've been on the fence about these for years. Then you'll get splinters, Jen. Get off the fence, make a decision. But you won't regret it because they're incredible. Oh, gosh. I'm just going to go back to a normal cup, I think. Anyway, the news. So, I can't really show all of these because not all of them, but you'll probably remember. So, Deborah Croft Chapin, who is the creator of Soul Cards 1 and 2, is bringing out a new deck. It was going to be released in October because of the pandemic and everything. It got pushed back, and they're called Portals of Presence. And they're in this, obviously they're in the same style because they're touch drawing, but they are kind of faces with these incredible eyes that really draw you in. And what she did, she sent me and a couple of others 120. And what she asked us to do was to choose 60 that spoke to us, you know, because she knew we did those activities where we sat and, you know, took in the images. So what I did was I went through each one and I did the process until I was happy with my 60. And then I sent her a picture of all 60 laid out. I took the ones out that, you know, not that I don't like them. They're all incredible. If we could have had a 120 card deck, wow. And I sent her the ones that really, really spoke to me. And she was like, that's incredible because we're more or less spot on. So they're going to be released next month in March. US Games is going to be the distributor. So it's really, really exciting. But Deborah said that it was during the live and the interaction with you guys as the community that spurred her on, because everybody was like, are you going to do a third deck? Are you going to do a third deck? And I was saying, oh, come on, do a third deck. And she said, well, I might then, you know, and we had talks about it. So she said that it's you guys who kind of have brought the Portals of Presence into creation, and she is asked to come back on. So she is coming back on the weekend that it's launched. So she'll be coming on Saturday. I think it's something like Saturday the 20th. The launch date is Sunday the next day, whether it's 21st or whatever. And she's going to have a chat with us, and we're going to show you the deck and let you see them live the weekend that they're going to be launched. So I'm so excited because I've always been a massive, massive fan, as you know. So to have her back on and to get her to talk to all of us about, you know, Portals of Presence will be great. So look out for that next month. It's going to almost 2 months away, isn't it? Because it's the end of March. But yeah, so that's really, really amazing. So we've gone over. Let's pull a card for the next 24 hours. Is that no, Robin? They're called Portals of Presence. It is a different deck. And I don't even think, well, I wouldn't anyway. I wouldn't want 180 cards. I don't even think that they're going to be the same, because she asked me about what do we think to gloss or matte, what do we think to gilding and all that sort of thing. So I think they're going to be quite different. So yeah. So Portals of Presence rather than Soul Cards 3. Simon, I'd love to see a quick look at your whole collection now. Crikey, Emily, that would not be a quick look. I'm up to nearly 550 decks, so it won't be a quick anything. But yeah, the monies. I'm not sure what that is. I can't believe I wasn't in a group already. I did the same yesterday. One of my favorite deck creators ever. What deck are you pulling from? So this is from the Moonlight Oracle, which uses Pixie's RWS artwork symbols for us to focus on. So, message for the next 24 hours. Oops. Oh God, we've had this so many times. Isn't this like the third or fourth time? Although we are a month into QuaranStream now, but it only came up the other day as well. There's obviously a message here that we need to really kind of focus on. I think in the past I've said things like, you know, if you fall, then pick yourself up. It's about learning and moving on and dusting yourself down and all that. But I don't want to keep repeating that message, because I think when a card keeps coming up, it's like you're not really getting it. So maybe we are kind of feeling like we're in this free fall kind of state at the moment, that we haven't got anything really solid to stand on or cling on to, and we feel like we're in this flux and this free fall because of everything that's happening in the world. But what I would say is, perhaps thinking more of the Tower card, which is obviously where this is from, maybe we are going through this period of change and disruption, or it's coming, and we perhaps need to prepare ourselves for that. And what I always say about the Tower card is, you know, if you build on firm foundations, everything else, you know, may get battered and crumble away and cracked and everything else. But if you've got firm foundations, you'll weather the storm and you'll survive, you know, and whatever happens, we can rebuild, you know. So maybe that's the message for us. An upheaval of some sorts, but let's plan and let's rebuild. It's just interesting that this keeps coming up a lot at the moment. Changes ahead, be prepared. Fine, you know, we'll weather the storm, we will rebuild, we will feel like we're not in this state of free fall, and we'll have firm foundations to rebuild on. So that's what we should work on, our foundations. Just got CS Tarot. Simon made me do it. Laurie, that's a bit random. Mind you, I showed the CS Tarot at the beginning because the Page of Wands that I showed is from the CS Tarot. This is the Jumbo edition. I'm looking for a good Oracle deck. What's your favorite Oracle and what's everybody else's? Runda says. There's so many. I love Oracle of Echoes. I love this. I love Roots and Wings. And I love A Whisper in the Ear. But you can't get that at the moment. It's by Sean Weston, but he only made like 105 and they've gone. So they're kind of my favorite oracles at the moment. I also love the Raincoast Oracle by Christoph James. That's an amazing oracle as well. And of course, I love soul cards. But whether they're an oracle or not, well, they are, because you can use them for divination. Jumbo edition, Robin, not jumper, not jumper. Jumbo edition of the CS Tarot. My CS is a Simon Made Me Do It. I feel like so many of my decks are. I hope one day my legacy isn't, you know, that bloke that made me spend loads of money and I've got loads of decks that I don't want. I hope my legacy is, well, Simon made me do it, but I have ended up with some real treasures in my life, some real good tools to have. That's my hope with the whole Simon Made Me Do It thing. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. Gone a little bit over today, but that's because we had 120 cards to have a look at. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to my mods, particularly for Elle for being Link Queen tonight. You're all stars. Yes, Robin, Simon's tombstone will read Simon Made Me Do It. Look after yourselves. Yeah, just take good care of yourselves. And until tomorrow, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.